This is PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Trevor's tested waters help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you PlayerProps.ai. This for winners research. We run it up with every betting tool you know in each perk. Trevor's tested waters help you swim even the feet first. Now strategies and all you need to help you eat.
Hey guys, it's me Travis with PlayerProps.ai. If you did what we told you to do on Friday, well, you won more money than what you lost. And if that wasn't the case, then that means you missed a step along the way. Now, you have to make sure that you are following all the guidelines, following all the rules that are associated to this channel and to PlayerProps.ai. If you're extremely stubborn and you're doing your own thing and you're like, no, I'm only going to do my own thing, I'm not going to listen to any helpful tips from the #1 most helpful sports betting app and brand in North America, well, that's on you. But if you stop and you think, you know what, maybe I should actually listen to him. I see everybody dropping winning screenshots every single day in the Discord. Maybe he's onto something. Maybe he actually can help me turn things around. The fact is, I can, but it requires you to #apply yourself and actually take things seriously. If you're just betting to lose money, stop betting. If you're betting and you don't want to try to win money and you just want to guess on things, I still recommend stop betting. The only way you should continue betting is if you are actually trying to apply yourself and doing everything possible to set yourself up for success. And what do I mean by that is you are not in control of what the players and the teams do in the games. You're only in control of what you do. So it's your responsibility as a sports bettor, not a degenerate gambler, but as a sports bettor, to set yourself up for the highest chance to hit a bet or to win a bet before the game ever starts. But if you're shooting yourself in the foot by just creating a 1% implied chance parlay and you're like, oh man, these players suck, I didn't win. No, you suck because you didn't listen. Stop doing dumb things in sports betting that you are feeding these multi-billion-dollar sports books. If you don't want to continue feeding these multi-billion-dollar sports books, then you need to do things different. And that's where PlayerProps.ai comes in. We teach you what you're doing wrong, we show you how to do it right, and we give you all the tools and community support to help you. It is okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them. If you're consistently making the same mistake over and over again, that's where chaos comes into play, and we try to avoid chaos. But yeah, our play we did for the show on Saturday hit. We did Asia Wilson under points. It was under 29.5, and I think she only finished like 15, so that was an easy, no sweat under. Today is, this whole weekend, Memorial Day weekend, today here being Memorial Day, so first off, do want to thank all of our fallen soldiers over the history of the U.S. When you are partying with your friends and drinking beers on a yacht, just remember what this holiday is all about. But I'm going to pull up real quick. There's no I was just about to see before I pull up the screen how many WNBA games there are today. The answer is 0. There are none. We definitely have MLB games today, and we have a good chunk of them. So let's flip the script and find something that we like. Also, I mentioned in the previous shows, for those that, nobody really cares about my camera, but I did switch. I'm now using the more high-end camera. When it's patched directly through and how I'm using it right now, it's not using the best settings. But when I'm going to try to do some more like short form video content as we roll into the summer here. And that's kind of where the sexiness of this insanely expensive camera will come into play. But again, you guys probably don't care about that, but I do. So let's see what we got. Monday, Memorial Day, May 26th. We're going to do what we always do, ladies and gentlemen. Also, I know I don't really pull it up on our shows because I kind of more often focus on the player props. I've been telling you guys since April 22nd that our MLB spread predictor, when we launched it on April 22nd, has been printing money. This isn't me just blowing smoke. This is facts. I track everything. It's in the Discord. You see people are winning every single day from using the MLB spread predictor. Now, if you live in a state that does not allow bets, then we still have a very successful app here for you to use for researching player props. If you live in a state that allows for traditional betting, particularly MLB spreads, you should be using the MLB spread predictor. It is literally printing money. The success of what it predicts is insane to the point where I'm shocked that I'm not on ESPN myself talking about it yet. After the show's done and we have the show up on YouTube, we're going to go ahead and update the things since, I mean, we updated it on Friday, so we're just going to update it for the last few days here. But maybe you didn't know it existed on the app, which maybe you didn't check all the tools. But again, if you have access to traditional bets, Moneyline, spreads, totals, that's what traditional betting is, you should be using the MLB spread predictor. Not how you want to, how it is designed. Remember, you can't just look at the app, plug things in, and expect to win. You have to make sure you're using the app correctly and you're betting correctly. I'm not talking about those 10, 15 pick parlays. Use the app as designed. Follow the 20-80-20 rule. And right off the bat, you're probably, if you're thinking, what the heck is the 20-80-20 rule? Stop betting. Do not lock in any more bets today or this week until you go to the Discord. You get in the Discord, you sync your accounts to unlock the free channels, and the first free channel your eyes need to pop on is called Bankroll Management. It explains the 20-80-20 rule, and there's even a video in there to help explain it further. Do not bet unless you're following the 20-80-20 rule. The only chance you're going to have to win long term. And the people that are dropping screenshots every single day, winning screenshots, well, that's because they're doing bankroll management. 3, minimum line, 17% minimum on the percentage difference. There's actually a handful of people that hit this. So let's see who is technically a trifecta before we look at anything else. Charlie Morton, 1.4 difference. Sportsbook sides the same side. Trifecta. Ryan Weathers, 1.4 difference. Sportsbook side the same way. Andrew Heaney, 1.2 difference. Sportsbook side. Martinez, sportsbook don't side, not a trifecta. Hauser, not a trifecta. And then we have underplays. Palmquist, trifecta, 2.5 difference. He only has one game, though, and you remember what we say about the one-game stuff. We avoid one-game pitchers, not enough data. Vasquez, was that 1.4 difference? And then we have a 1.45 for Gavin Williams. And let's see here. Jameson, not a trifecta because the sportsbooks favor the over. Chad Patrick is a trifecta. 1.1 difference. Sportsbook favor the under. Okay, so let's go back and recap here. Ryan Weathers, 1. Charlie Morton, 2. Andrew Heaney, 3. That's it for the over. So there's 3 over trifectas, and then we have Palmquist 1, Vasquez 2, Gavin 3, Patrick 4. Okay, so we have 7 trifectas, 3 overs, 3 overs, 4 unders. So now we figured out how many trifectas we have. The number is 7. How do we now figure out how to take that 7 and try to find one, the best one out of that? Well, we have what we call opponent position rankings. Charlie Morton's is an overplay. He's versing St. Louis. St. Louis, over the course of the season, has not struck out a lot. 26th least strikeouts in the MLB. And if that isn't enough over the course of the last 3 games, they're still 26th in the entire league on striking out. So they're not striking out. 26 is 4 from the bottom on both sides. We are going to avoid Mr. Charlie Morton. We go down one more. Ryan Weathers, San Diego, 29th in Ks. They are striking out a little bit more in the last 3 at 13th. But there's a rule that we have that we never go over strikeouts on San Diego. And you're like, oh, I'd love to know what other rules you have. Well, there's a channel in the Discord, which you should be in by now. It's free to join. It is called MLB Ban List. It says we never go over San Diego. So that is a scratch on that. So we just took out 2 trifectas on the 7. So we have 5 left to go through. Andrew Heaney versus Arizona. Arizona 27th in Ks over the season. 27th as well over the last 3. So Arizona is consistently not striking out. Now you could be like, oh, but the line's only 3.5. Still, we want to make sure that things just make sense. So we're not going to be doing Andrew Heaney. Those are the 3 overs. We don't like any of the 3 overs, so now we look at the unders. Carson Palmquist. There's a rule we have. Well, actually, no, he's got 2 starts. Sorry, he has 2 starts, but only 1 game we had an AI projection for, which is where this one comes from. So he started against Arizona, which again, we just say they don't strike out a lot. He pitched 4 full innings, gave up 5 runs, 0 strikeouts. What is this? 76 pitch count, 86 pitch count, 6 earned runs. So 2 starts, he's given up 11. That's actually crazy high. In 2 starts, he's given up 11 earned runs. He struck out 0 in his first game and 2 in his second game. He's pitched into the 5th inning, but again, first thing, I mean, Philly, they're not really a crazy high strikeout team, I don't believe, but 2 strikeouts, 0 strikeouts. So he has not exceeded 2. His line is 3.5. If we look at this data here, he has not struck out a single righty in his 2 starts. He's got an 18.2%. He struck out, he's versed 11. So TBF, again, is total batters faced. How many plate appearances has he had where he's versed a lefty? 11. He struck out 18.2% of them, which, based on my math, is 2 out of 11. Now, he's also given up an insane 556 average against left-handed hitters and a 393. This man is getting pummeled. Now, his line actually dropped. You see here, his line dropped to 2.5 at 823, and then right before we started recording, it went up to 3.5. So technically 2.5 is still a trifecta, but we don't do lines less than 3, which is why we set that up. So that wouldn't have popped up for us anyway. But now that it's bumped back up here to 3.5, it gets an extra strikeout underneath. This guy is getting pummeled by righties and lefties, and he hasn't struck out a single righty this entire time. Looking at the Chicago lineup, switch hitters, I mean, he can hit from left or right, so either way he's going to light them up. But they have a lot of righties. And then the only true lefties, well, Reese McGuire, but we don't need to pay attention to him. So Pete crushing it this season. Tucker's also pretty good this season over from Houston. Yeah. There's a good chance. So again, reminder, 2 starts, 5 earned runs, 6 earned runs. He's getting pummeled. The fact that he lasted that long with that many earned runs is still crazy. Chicago Cubs, it has a pretty decent offense this year. Their record is a lot higher than most people would have thought. And remember, the rule is we don't touch pitchers with only one game. But he has 2. We hit last week as well with a guy that only had 2 starts. So he is now somebody we're considering. Chicago is yellow on both their strikeouts. They don't strike out a lot, which is good, because if this was green, we might be worrisome. But they're 9th from the bottom in the last 3 games, the least amount of strikeouts. And we want them to strike out 0 because we're looking at an underplay. Remember that. Vasquez versus Miami. Miami is 15th, right there in the middle of the season. Even lower in the last 3, so they're striking out less and less. Gavin's versus the Dodgers. Dodgers have struck out the 9th most. Gavin is often at times a trash can. I know that because I am a Cleveland fan. He's very hot and cold. His line is 6.5, so in theory, it is easier to go under on a 6.5 line. But the fact, and the fact, I think the thing that scares me about this one is he's never struck out 7 Dodgers. He's got a 0% head-to-head. Well, actually, no, that doesn't scare me. That's positive, because it means he hasn't hit it. He has not struck out 7. He's always hit under 6.5 against the Dodgers. That's what I mean to say. But the fact that the Dodgers in the last 3 are striking out a lot more, and he can be hot and cold, we're like, oh, well, he sucks. Let's go under 6.5. And then all of a sudden, he'll get like a 10 strikeout game. So, I mean, he's a decent pitcher. Like, he's got 9 Ks against Toronto, who normally don't strike out a lot, 8 Ks against Philly, and then 6 and 6. So in 4 straight games, 4 straight starts for Gavin, he has gotten 6 or more, and his line is 6.5, and the Dodgers are striking out a lot in the last 3. And if we're looking at it over, you remember the overs? I know this is an under, but you remember with overs, the rule is as long as they have 20% on both sides, 29 and 25. I feel like that's probably going to be a game where the Dodgers might whiff a lot. Now, remember, with bets, there are always 3 options. Your brain might tell you there are 2. The sportsbook might say there are 2, but there are always 3. It's not over or under. It's over or under or fade. Because we're saying these things about Gavin, that doesn't mean go over 6.5 strikeouts against Gavin. That means don't touch him. That's option 3, fade. So we're not touching that one. I don't hate Vasquez for the under. So Carson and Randy are the only 2 right now. If we go down to Chad Patrick versus Boston, Boston has been striking out less in their last few games, 25th least in the last 3, but over the course of the entire season, 5th most. So I don't know if they've shaken off the rust and they're back in the swing of things where they're not striking out, or maybe just the last 3 games are a fluke. And his last game, he had 7 and less than 5 innings pitched against Baltimore. %. So technically he's under the 20-20 rule. 20% here against righties, just under 20% against lefties. That Boston, that 5th overall in the season, kind of scares me, but not enough yet to rule them out. And then is that? So there's 3. So out of 7 trifectas, there's 3 that you would consider. We have Chad Patrick under 5.5, Randy Vasquez under 4.5, and Carson Palmquist under 3.5. Maybe, because today is a holiday, we might do where we're trying to go 2 for 3 for profit. So there's very, very few times we do the show where we finish on 3 different bets, and so if we hit 2 of them, we still profit. And we did that Wednesday of last week, I think. We did that for Wednesday's show where we had 3 and 2 of them hit, so we still had profit. So essentially it allows us to have to miss on one of these pitchers and still make profit. Because again, you're single betting them, you're not parlaying them only. If you're only parlaying everything, you're never going to win long term. So hang up the gloves, stop fighting against the sports books. You cannot win that way, no matter who tells you what. If there's people that tell you parlay only are the only way to bet smart, then I would block that YouTube channel. But yeah, so what we're going to do now, so we have Colorado, San Diego, Milwaukee. Colorado, San Diego, Milwaukee. Okay, so now we're going to go to a props comparison and see if we can find any better lines than that. Milwaukee, no. Colorado, no. Colorado, Milwaukee, and what did I say? San Diego? Ooh, wait. That's what we were looking at anyway. So his line's 3.5 on some books, but DraftKings and Hard Rock looked like it had him at 4.5. You know what? Screw it. Let's do 3. We're gonna do 3 unders here for the holiday. So again, you're single betting them because that allows you to still win if one misses. If you solo or if you just only parlay them together and one misses and you lose all your money, that is 100% on you because that's not what we told you to do. Remember at the beginning of the show, I said if you finish with less money than what you started on Friday, you didn't listen. That goes with every single show. We create a situation to make you profit because that is your goal. Your goal is to not turn $1 into $1,000 every single bet slip. That is how the sportsbooks become billionaires. Your goal is to profit every single day. Or profit over the course of the month anyway. Profiting every single day is near impossible as well, even if you follow all the guidelines. But the fact that you can finish a week, like last week, the last 4 shows we had for you guys last week, 3 out of 4 were profit. So we went into the weekend with a nice 3 out of 4 profit show streak or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, remember, the MLB spreads is printing money. If you live in a state where you can bet on MLB spreads, we launched it on April 22nd. It is now May 26th. For the last month and a few days, it has been printing money. It is the most successful prediction tool we have on the entire app. That doesn't mean it's the only successful one. It is the most successful one. That is why you're seeing so many screenshots on the Winning Screenshots channel have MLB spreads in it, because we figured out some secret sauce, and it's working, and it's making people lots of money. So if you can live, not if you can, if you do live in a state that allows for spread betting, you need to be using this tool every single day. Use it, and if you're like, well, what if I don't know how to use it? Well, you have two options. You can either click the button up here that says, hey, click here to learn how to use the MLB Spread Predictor, which you should do anyway. But it's also important that you pay attention to the MLB Spread Rules channel. I created a channel specifically for this tool because it's hitting so often. If you just follow the MLB Spread Rules, you're going to win more money than you lose over the course of the week and the month. So focus on that stuff. But ladies and gents, that's all she wrote. Good luck with all your stuff today. Be safe. Happy Memorial Day. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.